Hello friends, I'm Ernie the Horse Guy and welcome to this week's episode of Better Horses TV. And I want to welcome our viewers from the KSN TV network. So glad to have you a part of Better Horses TV. Wonderful show lined out. You're going to be going to Brent Wright's Performance Horses in Ottawa, Kansas. And he's going to take us through a run on a very special reining horse to show you how it scored and what to look for. We're also got a wonderful little segment from Martha Josie. She's just a Hall of Fame, a living legend barrel racer. You're going to enjoy that. We got this episode with Sarah Leonard, who's from Purina Animal Nutrition, going to give us some barn tips, some things you can do around the barn. And then we're going to wrap it up with our Hardy Grub segment with Chef Tail Mark Bergdahl. How about a little bit of hot beef sandwiches? So you're going to really enjoy this show today. So glad you can join us. I'm Ernie the Horse Guy. We'll be right back.
What do you get when you bring together one of the biggest names in veterinary medicine with one of the most caring and committed teams of horse health experts in the industry? You get a vaccine portfolio known for its quality and safety, a pharmaceutical line you can rely on to help manage pain and support performance. You get the products, programs, and people of Merck Animal Health.
Hi, this is Pastor Frank at Open Range Fellowship. This is one of the new members of our congregation here. But when I look at Iris, I think, Jesus says that we need to come to him as a little child. And that should be our spirit, is not come to him prideful or we deserve anything or we should expect anything. We should come with simple childlike faith, just like Iris. Here, Mom. And Mom is one of our worship leaders here too. Let's just pray about that. Lord, we just want to have childlike faith. We want to just trust in you. We don't need to have every answer. We don't need to know everything. We don't want our intellect to take over and diminish our faith. Lord, let us have the faith of a child. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, go out this week and hold a baby. That was fun. But also have childlike faith. And don't worry about what's happening in the world. God's got this. So I love you guys, and I'll see you next week, and God bless.
Back in the saddle and out on the trail with Ernie the Horse Guy, now fun will prevail. We'll meet the best horsemen under the sun. Tip our hats to the ladies, keep the good Lord number one. Ride along, sing your song, along with better horses, we're right where we belong. Faith and love from up above, the best of the good life's yet to come.
This segment is brought to you by your independent Purina dealers.
Hello friends, welcome to Better Horses TV with Ernie the Horse Guy. We've got a really special segment for you. I'm here with Brent Wright, NRHA $1 Million rider from Ottawa, Kansas. Brent, welcome to Better Horses TV again.
Thank you, Ernie. Good to be here.
This is going to be a fun episode because we're going to be talking about reining and how they score, what you look for when you're evaluating your run. We just come off of the Kansas Reining Horse Association Sunflower Slide, where you had some success there, which this is going to be fun because it's kind of neat that it's my horse, you're riding it, and when we get done with this segment, Brent, I hope folks will understand how they score, what they look like. First of all, I want to ask you before we go to that segment, what is a futurity?
Well, futurity, it varies in different disciplines, I think, but for reining horses, futurities for 3-year-olds or under, they're all 3-year-old horses, but they and some futurities, like the cutting futurities for 3-year-olds, and they cannot have been shown prior to that futurity, which in the reining you can show them as many times as you want to beforehand. That's not always advantageous to, but the futurity in most Western disciplines, I think, is for 3-year-old horses.
Well, in going into this futurity here, and you've got a plan. It's not like go to every futurity you possibly can, because it's important to take it a little step by step. Can you touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, we don't want to show them too much, but we want to show them just enough to where they're comfortable in the show ring and not spooking at things and not anticipating things, but also tuned in and thinking about their job in there and and just trying to get him just acclimated to a show atmosphere.
Now the folks that are going to watch this run, they're going to be running a pattern number
I think it was pattern number 6 up there.
6. There's how many patterns are there?
But there's 13.
So there's 13 different patterns they're going to go. They're going to check on them from that standpoint. And tell us a little bit about the horse that you're riding.
You could probably tell me more about him than I can, Ernie.
Wimp-
He's your
Wimpy's Little Fred.
Wimpy's Little Fred. He's by Wimpy's Little Step and Avelina's Right On mare that you own, and you raised this horse, and he's a 3-year-old, and we've had him for a year and a half now, and he's a nice colt.
Nice colt. Well, we hope for good things, and I want to tell you we're excited about how he goes, but it's kind of a stepping process, and we hope he keeps improving. So I'm excited about this, folks. You're going to really enjoy this, because when we get done with this segment, you'll understand how you judge horses, and like how you judge the reining horses. It ought to be pretty interesting. So let's go to a break, and we'll come back and we'll talk about Wimpy's Little Fred at the Kansas Reining Horse Association Sunflower Slide.
Looking forward to it.
Hi, I'm Donna. This is Ringo. We're with CSI Saddle Pads. I'd like to invite you to ride our new revolutionary FlexPlate saddle pad. We offer a 30-day money-back, ride it, get it dirty guarantee. And the best part of the pad is it's 100% American-made with American parts by American hands.
I've been using CSI pads for 16 years, and there's a reason behind that. It is a total performance system for me. I just can't say enough about them.
For more information, go to CSIpads.com.
Your buddy Ron once said he could install your ceiling fan. He couldn't. And that one time, Ron said another chili dog was a good idea? Yeah, it wasn't. So when Ron said you'd never afford a John Deere tractor, you knew better. Now, Ron does too. The E-Series, legendary John Deere quality, unexpected low price.
Stop by and see Heritage Tractor at one of its 9 locations for your John Deere and Featherlight trailer needs. HeritageTractor.com.
This segment of Better Horses TV is brought to you by Silver Spurs Equine and Extra Quarter Horses.
Brent, the show was up at Doma Arena at the Kansas Expo Center in Topeka. Nice facility.
Yeah, it's a nice facility.
Talk about you're coming in on Fred. What pattern is this? You think it is?
This pattern's 6, where we're going to walk to the middle and turn 4 times to the right and 4 times to the left. So we're just kind of letting him walk in, relax, and kind of. He'd been there 2 or 3 times earlier that week, so he's seen the surroundings.
You want to get him used to it. Now we're going to be talking about the first maneuvers, your turns.
We're going to turn around to the right. We want to see him stay kind of on his back end and turn around to the right with some cadence.
So
we'll see what it looks like here. Got some pretty good step in his front end, but he's drifting just a little bit to the left on me. So it was a +1/2 to a 0. I mean, depending on how. The judges both had him +1/2 on that one. I looked at the sheets. This way to the left.
Looked like he's locked in pretty good.
Pretty good. Had a little bit of a hop there, which was okay. They both +1/2 that.
And they go 4 times around and want to end up straight.
Right. And if you go by over a width of the horse, then it's a half-point penalty. If you go by up to a quarter, it's a 1-point penalty. Okay. We're going to lope off in the left lead here, and we want to see the horse, gallop out in a pretty good clip and guide around on a relatively loose rein. And this is a 2-handed futurity, and it was optional. You could show 2-handed or 1-handed. I showed mine 2-handed just because I like to take every advantage, and I didn't want to keep him from making some mistakes that we would make 1-handed.
Did he feel pretty good at this point, right?
Yeah, he was circled around nice, and we got to the middle, and he slowed down good for me. He was waiting on me really good. We're going to set him up for a lead change from left to right here, and I'm going to cross the middle, and he felt really good going across the middle there. He waited on me, and we're going to gallop 2 fast circles to the right here, and he was pretty good. Going to the right.
Looked like you had to really pedal him up, which that's what you like to pedal him
Yeah,
up.
I want him to wait on me. I don't want him freewheeling around there. Well, I'm asking him to gallop a little bit. We're not going super fast, but for this time of year, he's fast enough.
Puts enough pressure on him. That's important, not to put too much pressure on him.
Don't want to.
But I like it how you say you don't start the changing the speed until you're in the center of the arena.
Ask him to slow down in the middle, and he responded good. We're going to set him up for that right to left change here, and he was really good here.
What do you feel this horse's strength is? You've had this horse a while.
Oh, he can do everything. I didn't like the way we ran down the sides. We're ready to come around the end and go down the side to stop. And he stopped pretty decent when he got there, but he didn't run very straight for me. He was kind of right, left, and right. And I didn't like that too much. If I was judging, that would have been a 0. He stopped pretty good when he got there, but he didn't get down the pin very well. And the stop is judged from the approach and the stop and the rollback are all judged together.
Stop, roll back, and everything.
Yeah. And here again, our approach was not very good going to this stop.
And this is something you're going to be working on as far as between now and December,
Oh, yeah,
is to get that approach.
We'll kind of try to turn him loose more and let him lean right and left and have a chance to correct some of that.
This is his last stop coming up.
He's just got a little bit of stage fright running down that pin. He just didn't want to get to that other end.
It looked pretty good. You ended up being a co-champion. What was his score? Do you remember?
One judge had him a 73, the other one a 72.5, so he was a 145.5. And Todd, my son, he had the other 145.5, so we were co-champions.
Kind of neat to be. Has that ever happened before where you were co-champions?
Well, not with Todd.
But that's pretty neat to do that and everything else. It was just a nice evening. And like I said, the next step is you go to a schooling show down in Ardmore.
Yeah, we'll go down there and try to show him one-handed, and it's kind of a medium pressure thing. We're not gonna ask him for his life or anything, but we're gonna try to step him up just a little bit and see what we get. And we're trying to uncover the holes that we have, because it's hard to find those at home until you get to a horse show. It's hard to tell exactly what you have.
Brent, thanks for sharing this with our viewers out there and giving us a little bit more insight on what you look for in reining. And good luck with Fred coming in the fraternities to come in the big one.
Thank you, Ernie.
You care about your animals and feeding them the best. And that's where Purina's local Kansas City dealers step in, providing you experience, knowledge, service, and advice. Purina feed dealers are people who believe in community involvement and who believe in you. They have a passion for the feed industry and are committed to helping customers unlock the potential of every animal. If you are looking for a trusted source for your animals, look no further than your local Purina feed dealer, your partner in animal care.
Hi friends, I'm Ernie the Horse Guy, and I want to talk to you about Better Horses Properties. If you have a property you'd like to list and sell, I'm the guy to contact. When it comes to marketing, we're second to none. We've got the publication. We'll promote your place in the publication. We'll promote it on our radio networks. We're going to promote it on TV and our e-blast. Better Horses Network is your direction to go when you're looking to market your horse property. So contact me at Ernie@BetterHorsesRadio.com for your property and let us go to work for you.
Restoration of live horse and greyhound racing in Kansas will generate over 4,000 jobs, nearly $300 million in annual wages, and $23 million in new annual revenue. Reinvigorating racing at the Woodlands and 3 other Kansas tracks also create superior destination entertainment districts in Kansas. The Greater Kansas Racing Alliance is working to restore our horse and greyhound racing industries, putting Kansas in the winner's circle. Visit raceforkansas.com to show your support, and let's race for Kansas.
This segment is brought to you by Heritage Tractor and your John Deere and Featherlight Trailer Dealer.
Hey, Ernie, it's great being on Better Horses TV. I can't wait for everybody to see my segment on Round the Barrels with Martha Josie. All right, I like to show everything slow first, so I'm only going to walk through. Never turn the barrel until your knee gets to the barrel, then set and look. I'm turning and I'm looking. And what this does, it positions your body to let that horse know that he's supposed to turn. All right, let's show that same thing in a trot. Just easy, posting across. Now sit down. Take the horse's nose, look up, and you always look where you're going, never look at where you've been. And now I'm going to show you my great run on Joby Jammin. He made this great run and put me on the Wheaties box. And then Gata, you can see how the great training did on her and how sitting, turning, and looking, because I'm riding her bridleless.
Moving to the last young lady. She's from Texas. She's a world champion. How about we welcome Martha Josie? Come on, let's cheer her. Bail off in there, get a little loud, get a little rhythm, cheer her on with the horse race. Now about 15
Hay is not for horses. They deserve Stanley Premium Western Forage. There's no better place in the country to grow forage than Idaho, and Stanley is one of the country's largest producers. From pellets, cubes, and chopped forage in bags to compressed in 3-tie bales, Stanley cultivates the premium forage types horse owners demand. Because your horse needs hay, but he deserves Stanley Premium Western Forage.
Welcome to Silver Spurs Equine LLC, the largest reining horse breeding facility in the United States. Owned by Michelle and Michael Miola, Silver Spurs now has 2 facilities to serve you: Scottsdale, Arizona and Purcell, Oklahoma. Their stallion lineup is made up of the best bloodlines in the reining industry. Silver Spurs is home to over 20 NRHA champion stallions, including 2 $2 million sires, Conquistador Whiz and Nick It in the Bud, along with NRHA $1 million sires, A Sparkling Vintage, Spook's Got a Gun, and Einstein's Revolution. Silver Spurs prides itself on always being on the cutting edge of breeding excellence, bringing you champions like Tinker with Guns, Smoking Whiz, SG Frozen Enterprise, Platinum Vintage, and they are now pleased to welcome Chick Dreamin', the 2017 NRBC Open champion, to the 2019 breeding season. Silver Spur's recent purchase of Extra Quarter horses in Oklahoma adds another ultimate location, along with a breeding and training operation to their already successful breeding facility in Arizona. Extra's central location provides the perfect place for the training facility and for showcasing young prospects. Extra Quarter Horses will maintain its reputation in the industry and operate as a division of Silver Spurs Equine. Extra is home to Wimpy's Little Step, NRHA Hall of Fame member, $9 million sire, and currently the NRHA's #1 all-time living sire. The flashy Palomino stallion Shiner's Voodoo Doctor, whose first 2 foal crops are performing successfully. And Wimpy Needs a Cocktail, Wimpy's Little Step's highest earning sire. This combining forces of breeding, training, and selling some of the best offspring the industry has to offer by champion sires and champion producing mares gives everyone access to exceptional stallions and performers. Visit us at silverspursequine.com.
This segment is brought to you by your independent Purina dealers.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie the Horse Guy and welcome to Barn Tips with Sarah Leonard, our Purina Animal Nutrition Specialist. Sarah, great to be back in your barn.
Well, thank you for coming. And today I just kind of wanted to share some things that we do here, not whether they're right or wrong, but we think they work for us, and just thought maybe we'd talk about them today. As we're kind of getting ready to go into the fall and winter months, first thing we did is we get our sheets out and make sure they're clean and ready to use on the horses at night, particularly as we're trying to keep them clean and ready to go all the time. Got them all airing out here, ready to go, so when we get ready to load, they're right here handy, can put them on the horses. We always haul in our trailer, particularly because we don't have screens on our trailer, with fly masks, even in the wintertime. A lot of people think we're kind of silly pulling in with fly masks on when it's 30 degrees, but we feel like this is what needs to happen to protect our horses' eyes during transit. So that would be what I would certainly remind everybody to do. It seems pretty simple.
Well, why don't we step in your feed room and let's see how you get that organized, because you got some really great ideas what we need to do as a horse owner and with their feed to just stay on top of things.
Absolutely.
Sarah, we're in your feed room down here, and you got some really neat tips. Let's talk about what you do here in the feed room.
All right. Well, first and foremost, you see these plastic containers that we have, and I used to get my feed and dump them in the container and then put the lid on and feel like I was doing a pretty good job of keeping them fresh. But I have found now that probably the best thing for me to do is continue to feed out of the bag and then just roll the bag down when I'm done with my feed in the morning to make sure that I keep the specific feed in the specific bag. And why that's important is if you ever have a problem with our products, you can always refer back to the date code based off of each individual bag. So this product was actually made the 28th of July in 2017 at our St. Joe plant in St. Joe, Missouri. And then those small numbers indicate the bag count and the bag run number. So we can get it down to the exact bag where your feed came out of if we have to investigate any kind of concern.
Really great tip from that standpoint, and it's just neat how you got everything organized, and of course you rotate your feed. Always use the oldest first.
We absolutely do, and that's why I have the two oldest bags here, and then I bring over here and stack the newer ones here in the feed room.
Sarah, talk a little bit about what's going on in your feed room.
Absolutely. Well, we talked about the feed being over here. We're pretty simple here with our products. We don't have to do supplements because all the fortification and everything is in the products as long as you feed at the right level. So on that Impact Pro Performance product, feed at least 4 pounds a meal. You're getting the fortification that you need both for the evening and the morning servings, if you will. We feed out of a coffee can, which is kind of like the norm. Everybody feeds out of a coffee can. But I would tell you to weigh this. Everybody's 3-can coffee can does not weigh the same. I know what ours weighs, and I have weighed it, so I'm for sure. We also have these handy-dandy feed scoops that you all have seen, and that one's nice and clean for you. But that way you can look at the sides of this and know exactly what you're feeding at any given point in time. In our feed room too, you know, we keep our hay bags, we keep some tack in here. We don't keep all of our saddles in here. Our trailer's kind of more of a rolling tack room than actually the feed room is here. But it's nice and dry in here, and we can keep stuff in good condition, and it's good for backup, that's for sure.
Well, here we've been talking about your feed room, your blankets, and your barn. It's all about the total program.
It is.
You know, and keeping everything going from your equipment, your feed, your horses, keeping them in shape, and just want to congratulate you on what a great job you and the Leonards do with your horses, and what an asset you are to not only the equine but to the animal industry.
Well, thank you very much, Ernie. It's a pleasure to have you out here today.
Great to be here. Ernie with Better Horses TV. See you soon.
It's time to go with United Mosquito and Fly Control's premier fly system for fly control in your barn, providing relief for horses from the stress of fighting flies, and also makes the barn more pleasant for everyone in the barn. Easy, effective, and safe. With United Mosquito and Fly Control, we provide a full service. You as the barn owner don't have to do anything. We go everywhere and take care of everything with our friendly fast service. Call today at 913-558-3814 or email Paul at unitedmosquito.com.
This segment is brought to you by CSI Saddle Pads.
Hello friends, I'm Ernie the Horse Guy. Welcome to the Hardy Grub segment of this week. Unbelievable meal we've had. I'm here with Mark Sheptail, Mark Berkdahl. Mark, great to be back again this week.
Welcome back.
You know, we had a great episode a few weeks ago on the value of a good pot roast and the family value, having a great meal like that. You got that and the potatoes and all that. But a lot of times we get pot roast left over. To me, that's the best meal coming the next time around. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, I know how much you like hot beef sandwiches, Ernie, so we're going to make hot beef sandwiches with the leftover pot roast we had last week. We're going to boil up some potatoes and mash them up just like you've seen me do 100 times before. You put down the bread and the mashed potatoes and make gravy in the pot roast and smother over that.
But the Hardy Grub segment wouldn't be right unless you didn't have some of your concoctions that you come up with.
Well, the pot roast was going to be kind of boring, so we're going to do a cream corn bruschetta, except instead of putting it on a piece of toast, we're going to put it on a piece of lettuce.
I bet it's going to be great.
And just for color, and just because I know how you like the vegetables so much, we're going to do stewed tomatoes.
I can't Tell you how much I'm waiting for that and everything else.
I can tell you, everybody else will love it, Ernie, but you might be a little.
I get people ask me all the time, Mark, you say you're a great chef and all this, and what restaurant did you come from? They don't realize what you do in your real life. Why don't you touch on that base just a little bit?
This is middle of silage cutting season
Big
for
time.
us, big time. And we're going to put up about 50,000 tons of silage this year, which is a lot. And it takes a lot of time to do that. So we got a big crew, lots of people. We serve sandwiches at the trucks as they go down the road just about, so we run nonstop when we're going.
A lot of folks don't realize that you and your brothers, Berkdahl Brothers Cattle Company, one of the top big cattle producers in the state of Kansas, and you know, it's just really an honor to have you cooking and everything. Got to ask you, how did you start with this, getting involved in cooking?
I hate to say it, but some of my ex-wives wasn't really good cooks, and my mother was, so she kind of taught me how to cook a little bit.
You're going to make somebody a great wife.
Yeah,
You know
I will.
that?
Roger Brummel tells me that all the time.
So tell me what we're going to get started. Let's get started and look what we're
Okay,
doing.
we're going to get started with, and I forgot to turn the skillet on.
But it won't
Get
take
started
long.
with the cream corn bruschetta. Sorry, that
Because the hot beef sandwich pretty much all done.
yeah, it's we're going to make gravy and then we'll be ready to go. So we're going to put the onions in the bacon and some garlic in there. Now we got to get that crisp up. Can we wait a minute? And some red bell peppers.
I love those. I have to tell you, folks, you know, this stuff here, something about when Mark puts his hand into this thing and mixes it all together, just has just a great taste and a great flavor from that standpoint.
I've kind of got used to what flavors or what ingredients go with what ingredients, at least for my palate. So that's where I get the mixing and adding and stuff. I got to let this soak
Heat
a
up.
little
Let's
bit.
let this heat and we'll come back to
All
it.
right, we'll work on the taters.
Better Horses with Ernie Rodina is brought to you by your friends at Merck Animal Health.
Welcome back to Better Horses TV, the Hardy Grub segment. Mark, we got it all wrapped up. Want to introduce our friends, and we got Mary and Dave Wagner from up at Wellsville, Kansas. Big fans of Hardy Grub segment, and so glad to have them here. And you got the final presentation. Let's talk about it.
We did the roast beef sandwiches, one of your favorites. So we did just a slice of just plain white bread, covered it with the roast beef, shredded the roast beef, made a nice gravy on it, made mashed potatoes, slathered that all up good. Put the bread in the bread stewed tomatoes to soak up all the juice, and that's the thickener in it. We left that out a while ago. Got the cream
That's out of
corn
this world.
bruschetta, except we're doing it as a lettuce wrap. So you could use it as a salad, hors d'oeuvre, lots of things you could do with that. Then Connie's fabulous apple crisp.
Homemade ice cream.
Homemade ice cream.
Caramel sauce. Unbelievable right there, and I can't wait to dig into it.
I can't either. Let's get after it.
Thank you so much for being a part of the Hardy Grub segment with Better Horses TV. Tune in next week. We'll have another great recipe. In the meanwhile, check out our radio show on Better Horses Radio, KC Style, on 710 AM or 103.7 FM. Till next week, always be safe and ride for the brand.